Hey guys, Tom here and welcome to my WWE SummerSlam 2016 review. What did you guys think of the show? Smash that like button. If we can get 400 likes, that would be absolutely awesome. Also, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on the show. I'm going to be telling you guys my thoughts, but I also want to know your thoughts down in the comment section. So let's get right onto this, the SummerSlam review. What did I think of this year's SummerSlam? I thought there were some good bits, I thought there were some bad bits, but overall, I think it's a 7.5 out of 10. It wasn't woeful, it wasn't amazing. It was decent, it was okay. I mean, with the type of matches which were on this match card, I was hoping for huge things. I thought this was going to be amazing. I thought this was just going to top the charts, best pay-per-view of the year. But it just wasn't. It wasn't the best pay-per-view of the year. It was good, but it felt like every match except the women's match and the John Cena and AJ Styles match didn't really deliver. They were the only two matches which delivered on tonight's SummerSlam pay-per-view. I think the biggest gripe of the night is how fucking long the show was. It was 6 hours long. 6 hours long. I mean, you get to a point where your brain just can't take any more wrestling, and I just didn't care what was happening. And the bad thing was, I kind of stopped caring right at the moment the Finn Balor and Seth Rollins match started. And that was really the match I wanted to see. But at that point, I'd already seen like 5 hours of wrestling, so I just couldn't bring myself to care. I was just so tired. My brain was turning to mush because at that point, we'd already seen like 10 matches. Why does it have to be 6 hours long? It used to be 3 hours long without a pre-show, and that was absolutely fine. I just think they've gone way too far, and it's ridiculous now. I mean, we genuinely had to sit in front of a screen for 6 freaking hours. It's gone too far now. That is crazy. I mean, that's like genuinely half my day spent watching SummerSlam. That's ridiculous. I don't want to bog you guys down too much in the fact that this show was just way too long. There were some really good matches on this pay-per-view. There were some questionable matches on this pay-per-view. Let's have a little talk about all of them. So I think we've got to start by talking about the main event. Brock Lesnar against Randy Orton. I was really looking forward to this match. Did it deliver? Sort of and not really. I mean, this match felt really short. I mean, I was expecting like a 20 to 30 minute match, which was going to be brutal. It was going to be awesome. It was going to be fast paced. I was really hyped for it. And it kind of felt like it was only about 10 minutes long. And it ended by TKO when Brock Lesnar beat Randy Orton up so much he was bleeding out of his head. It was crazy. He's a bully, Brock Lesnar is. He plays a great character as this bully who turns up and beats people up. But is that really the way to end your pay-per-view, with Randy Orton in a pool of blood, Brock Lesnar walking away from the ring, winning the match? I mean, he F5 Shane McMahon, which is cool, but it just felt like a bit of a weird and flat and kind of even dead ending. It wasn't really the way people expected it to go down. I mean, it's an okay ending, but why, if you were going to have that ending, are you going to end the pay-per-view on that ending? If you wanted that ending, why have that as the main event match? It just doesn't make any sense. And at the end of the day, the match really didn't deliver. It wasn't probably half as good as what we thought it was going to be. It was about 10 minutes long. We definitely didn't get what we wanted out of it. So it was a slight disappointment. I'm not saying it was woeful. I did get a little bit of an enjoyment out of it. But the ending just gives me a really sour taste in my mouth and takes anything away from whatever we got from this match. It just kind of reminds me of last year's SummerSlam match where Brock Lesnar and Undertaker somehow won by Brock Lesnar fading out and the referee not seeing Undertaker tapping out. I mean, what's with all these confusing endings to SummerSlam pay-per-views? What's the point? Now, are we going to get like a Shane McMahon against Brock Lesnar match? I mean, that actually does sound pretty awesome. Now, the ending might have not been terrible, but I just don't think it helps the fact that at that point we'd already seen like 6 hours of wrestling, so it just really didn't care what was happening, if you get what I mean. So we've got to talk about Finn Balor against Seth Rollins. Some people are saying they don't like the title belt. I like it. I thought it looked pretty good, so I'm not really going to spend a lot of time talking about that. But I actually thought this match was pretty good. But like I said, this was kind of around the point where I was getting a little bit sick of looking at a screen, watching wrestling for about 5 hours at that point. But this was a great match. It's a bit of a shame that the matches before it kind of made the crowd a little bit dead. They weren't really too into this match as much as I thought they would be. Finn Balor's entrance was amazing. Pretty decent match. It was back and forth. Nothing we didn't really expect. I mean, I might have expected a little bit more from this match. I think we were expecting like match of the year candidate, but at the end of the day, it wasn't anywhere near as good as AJ Styles against John Cena or the women's match. So it definitely was not match of the year, which we hoped it would be. But it was still pretty good. It wasn't awful. It was decent. It was great. I'm actually pretty surprised that Finn Balor won the title, to be honest. I thought Seth Rollins was the guy. He was the guy they would have wanted to put the Universal Championship on first. Putting it on Finn Balor, who hasn't really fully established his character yet. He only debuted 4 weeks ago. It's very, very strange that they've already put the belt on this guy. I mean, this could be great. This could be really a new era in the WWE, and Finn Balor could be amazing. I was just expecting Seth Rollins to win, but I don't mind that Finn Balor's a champion. That is something I didn't expect. It's unpredictable. I think it's pretty awesome. It should be cool. It may halt him in the long run. I mean, he debuted 4 weeks ago, and he's now won the top prize in the WWE. So he can never ever top that in his career, and he's already accomplished it 4 weeks in, which could be a slight negative, but come on, it's unpredictable. The match was pretty good. We've got our first Universal Champion. It's Finn Balor. This gimmick is gold. He is going to be absolute money. He is a star in the making, so I have absolutely no complaints. Another match I have absolutely no complaints about is AJ Styles taking on John Cena, and AJ Styles got a win clean in the middle of the ring. This was amazing. This match was fucking awesome. This might be match of the year. I think that's quite a possibility. This was insane. I mean, bow down to AJ Styles. He literally is a wrestling god. He genuinely is the perfect superstar. Some of the promos he cut on John Cena leading up to this match were phenomenal, pardon the pun, but this match was just beyond what we expected. This was phenomenal. This was crazy. At the start of the match, fans were chanting John Cena sucks, but slowly through the match, this guy does not suck. It takes two people to put on a great match. This was better than a great match. This was amazing. I'm going to say this was match of the year because phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. AJ Styles is huge. He is gonna be huge in the WWE. I am so glad he beat John Cena clean in the middle of the ring. The last time that happened was Kevin Owens. It doesn't come around often. When it does, you know you've got somebody special on your hands, and that is AJ Styles. He didn't just beat him with a Styles Clash. He beat him with a Styles Clash and a phenomenal forearm. No bullshit, no interference, nothing like that. Clean in the middle of the ring. AJ Styles beats John Cena. It does not get much better than that. This guy is world champion material. I want to see him go after Dean Ambrose straight after this pay-per-view because that is definitely best for business. What a match. I think we've got to talk about the other world championship match, which was Dolph Ziggler against Dean Ambrose. And as you can tell from my tone of voice, I wasn't much of a fan of this match. I thought it was pretty slow. It kind of reminded me of Dean Ambrose's match with Chris Jericho a few months ago in that steel cage asylum match. It was just, you kind of just wanted it to end. It just didn't really deliver. The promos up towards the match were great. Dolph Ziggler put a lot of work in building his character up quickly. He didn't have very long to do it, but I think he did a pretty good job. He cut a great promo on SmackDown, but sadly when it came to the match, it didn't quite deliver, and it didn't really feel like a world championship match. It was slow, it was sluggish, it lacked any big spots at all. Pretty predictable. We all knew Dean Ambrose was probably going to walk away with the World Heavyweight Championship. It wasn't great. I mean, we've seen better matches on Monday Night Raw or SmackDowns. It didn't deliver, which is a shame. Sometimes they don't, but it's not something we should linger on for too long. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about that Women's Championship match. Sasha taking on Charlotte. Amazing match. This was great. I mean, every single move they hit, I'd never seen before. They worked really hard, obviously, to make a match which was completely different to that Monday Night Raw match after the draft. I mean, loads of new moves in this match. It was great to see. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was incredible. The crowd were definitely loving it. There was a really cringy moment where Sasha landed on her neck, which made me cringe the whole way through the match every time somebody landed on their neck. But they recovered from that because that was a botch, and then they botched straight after that happened, which was really awkward. 2 botches in a row. But they really worked hard to get the crowd behind them again. And by the end of the match, he completely forgot about those 2 mistakes because this was amazing. The 2 best women in the WWE right now, putting on an incredible SummerSlam match, which felt something, told a great story, brilliant rematch, and Charlotte walks away with the title. I mean, that was not on the cards. Everybody thought Sasha was going to walk into Brooklyn and retain her title and move on to somebody else. But no, Charlotte, she somehow creates an upset. We thought she was going to win with a bank statement. Sasha Banks roll over, 1, 2, 3, and Charlotte steals the freaking title off Sasha Banks. Brilliant storytelling. I mean, they could not have done it in a better way. It was just so cheeky of her to roll her up from the bank statement and steal the title just like that. I mean, just completely off the script. You did not expect that, but wow, what a great match. Great chemistry, great pacing, unique moves the whole way through the match. I mean, just such emotion as well behind the match. I absolutely loved it. Fantastic, fantastic match. I think Cena's match with AJ was better, but this was not far behind. They almost stole the show with this match. Great match. I cannot wait for the rematch now because this match was awesome. If they have a rematch for the title again, it might even be better. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I cannot wait for that rematch. Charlotte is now the champion, which some people might complain about because she held it for quite a long time. But it tells a great story, and any excuse to have Sasha against Charlotte again, I'm not going to complain about that. Another pretty good match we had was Enzo and Cass taking on Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Now this match took a very, very long time to get going. I mean, 2/3 of the match were really, really slow. I mean, but when it got going, the last third of the match, it was pretty good. It was pretty fantastic. There was a really annoying ending to this, though. The code breaker was completely missed by Chris Jericho. He looked pretty pissed off with himself after the match for missing that code breaker, but Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho get the win, which I was quite surprised about. I thought that Enzo and Cass were going to win this match. It feels like the WWE are pretty high on Enzo and Cass at this point. But it's great to see that, once again, another unpredictable result. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho win their match, which was great. It's nice to see them putting some time and effort behind other tag teams. It would have been predictable for Enzo and Cass to win here. It seems like they're getting a huge push right now, but it's nice to see other tag teams like these two get a win against Enzo and Cass, and they definitely won't hurt them very much. It was an awesome match in the end. It took a while to get going, but when it did get going, it was pretty fantastic. Jerry KO is a great tag team. I really hope they stay together, but pretty awesome match. So we've talked about all the awesome matches, but I just felt with it being 6 hours, there was just so much sort of, not crap, but just meaningless, dragged out feuds and matches which you just didn't really care about. So when it came to the last and final few matches which you actually genuinely wanted to see, you didn't really care about them because at that point you were just physically drained from watching all the crappy wrestling matches before it. So one of those matches was The Miz against Apollo Crews, a match which had hardly been built up at all. Let's just say both of them hadn't stepped in the ring together face to face live on TV for 3 weeks. I mean, on this week's SmackDown, they were face to face, but it was during a commercial break. So they haven't actually been face to face live on TV for 3 weeks. Crazy. But anyway, Intercontinental Championship match did not deliver. It wasn't good. It was pretty boring. Miz is still champion. We got absolutely nothing out of it. I mean, it doesn't really feel like they have anything to do with Apollo Crews. You would have thought a new, fresh NXT debut star would walk into SummerSlam and win the Intercontinental Championship off The Miz, but it didn't really feel like they put a lot of effort into building up this match. It didn't deliver. Apollo Crews looks pretty pathetic. Doesn't really make a lot of sense for Apollo Crews because he just came in, but Miz is still champion. Another match which was just meh was The New Day against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Now I can understand why The New Day are still champions. They are 1 day off being champions for over a year. And I said in my predictions, if they don't win at SummerSlam, they're going to win the titles on Monday Night Raw. The club are going to win the titles on Monday Night Raw. So I'm fully expecting that rematch to happen on tomorrow night's Monday Night Raw. But the match itself wasn't that great. It was just flat. And why wasn't Big E in the match? I mean, he looked fine when he was coming out after the match. So why didn't they just have him in the match? Because it kind of just lacked, maybe it was the fact that Big E wasn't in it, it just lacked some substance or a little bit of energy. It just felt, I mean, they built this match up quite well. You had Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson with the lab coats on, the balls in the jars, which I really enjoyed. But when it came to the match, it just lacked something. I mean, we've seen better matches from the New Day on Monday Night Raw, so when it came to SummerSlam, it was pretty pathetic. And that whole Jon Stewart thing, I mean, Jon Stewart, the whole way through the night, it's just like, you've got guys on the roster like Kevin Owens who are naturally funny, but Jon Stewart, you can just tell, he's trying to be funny, but some people are naturally funny, but I'm not American, so I don't watch him on TV, but to me, it felt like he was attempting to be funny when he doesn't actually, he's not that funny as an actual person. I don't know if I'm reading into it a bit too much, but maybe he was trying too hard to be funny, but I did not laugh at any of his jokes. I thought they were pretty pathetic, and his whole involvement in the New Day match was awful. It was not wanted at all. So we also had Nikki Bella return in her match with Alexa Bliss and Natalya taking on Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi. This was a pretty decent match, but once again, just another match which was dragged out. I'm not a huge fan of Nikki Bella, so I didn't really care a lot about this match either. And lastly, Rusev against Roman Reigns. I mean, they gave this match away for free on Monday Night Raw. Then when it came to SummerSlam, we didn't even get the bloody match. I mean, that spear from Roman Reigns was pretty awesome. But I really wanted to see Roman Reigns become the United States Champion. I think that is something that I could actually get behind. I mean, I wasn't behind him becoming WWE Champion. I thought that was just way too far. He does not deserve it. He's not a WWE Champion. But United States Champion, I'm fine for that. But the match didn't even happen. I don't know why. It's SummerSlam, the biggest matches of the summer. Okay, so I'll briefly talk about the kickoff show. Cesaro against Sheamus was awesome. Sheamus, he improves like every match. This guy is insane. I think this best of 7 series could be good. I mean, we have seen the match about, 4 times at this point. But this match was great. Sheamus wins, the heel wins, which I predicted, so Cesaro has to go out there and chase a victory now, which does make things pretty exciting. I thought the tag team match on the pre-show was awful. It was really, really boring. The Usos getting the pin for their team, I just didn't care. But I thought Neville and Sami Zayn teaming up was actually pretty cool. I mean, the Dudley Boys haven't been that interesting since WrestleMania, but it was a decent match. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this year's SummerSlam? I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was decent. I just think 6 hours is like way too freaking long. Like, what the hell? Finn Balor is the new Universal Champion, which is pretty epic. AJ Styles goes over John Cena clean. New Women's Champion. The ending was pretty weird with Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton, but at the end of the day, 6 hours is just way too long, isn't it? But we had some decent matches. AJ Styles is huge. What did you guys think? Smash that like button. 400 likes would be insane. Subscribe for more. Take care. Spike your hair.